Hello everyone, CatWeazle here. Welcome to the channel and welcome back to our new playthrough of Arkham Horror 2nd edition, The Horror at the Museum. It's great to be back and it's our first episode of this playthrough. We're going to get into it today. Cannot wait. But before we do, a few bits and pieces. I'll pop up the scenario again. It should be on the right hand side of your screen, just so you can refamiliarise yourself with the scenario itself while I just witter on in this short introduction. First things first, yes, it's time to revisit a much loved segment on this channel. It is time for... Yes, it's time for CatWeazle's Cock-Up Corner. I've made a mistake already. Not a biggie, it's only a small mistake. It's the Ancient Whispers marker, which it moves around the streets of Arkham, and that's where you actually have an encounter, an Ancient Whispers encounter, and you can end up getting one of the exhibits. One of the exhibits for the Curse of the Dark Pharaoh expansion. And it started on Miskatonic University streets. It is no longer there because while you do the encounters, normally at the end of the encounter it will tell you to place the Ancient Whispers marker on another street location. But it also moves on Crescent Moon Monster Movement. And we had a Crescent Moon Monster Movement when we pulled the Mythos card. The Ancient Whispers marker was already on the board at that point, so it does actually move. So if you have a look, just up there, it's no longer at the Miskatonic University streets, it's moved on white for Crescent Monster Movement, and it's currently at the Merchant District streets, just up there. So that's been changed, thanks to Mark who pointed that out, and it's all correct now. So that's it for CatWeazle's Cock-Up Corner for this episode at least. A couple of other things to have a chat about. First of all, Wolfpack48, who made the scenario, he was in the comments and he had a great idea for Diana Stanley and her Silver Twilight Lodge membership. What we're going to do is any investigator that has any sort of cult membership, if we draw a cultist out of the monster bag, the cultist will go on to Rantagoth's sheet, and anybody who isn't blessed, who has a cult membership, well, they're going to be devoured too. So that's going to stay the same. However, if an investigator is blessed, what we are going to do is that investigator, if they're not Diana Stanley, has a choice. Once they're blessed, if they have a cult membership, they can get rid of it. Yeah, free. Keep the blessing, get rid of the cult membership. But if they choose, they can keep it. And this is where Diana comes in, because Diana can't get rid of hers. Even if she gets blessed, she can't make the decision to get rid of the membership. So if an investigator who isn't Diana decides to keep their membership, and Diana herself, who will always have her membership because she can't get rid of it, if a cultist comes out, goes on Rantagoth's sheet, if an investigator is blessed, what they can do is they will get a chance to avoid being devoured, and they will have to make a luck check with their blessed dice. Now, to make it a little more tricky, there will be a penalty. So depends on the number of cultists that are currently on Rantagoth's sheet. So if it's the first cultist that comes out, the luck check will be made at a -1 penalty because there's one cultist. Second cultist be -2, third cultist -3, and so on. It will make it tricky, even though they are rolling with blessed dice. It will progressively get more difficult to pass that test. Gives the investigators a chance of deciding to keep their membership if they wish to, but they're going to take a risk, even though they're rolling blessed dice. And eventually, because there are a lot of cultists in the bag, there is way over 6 cultists in the bag. I think there's about 11 off the top of my head. So you're going to get to a situation whereby you cannot pass the luck check. And when you can't pass the luck check, you are going to be devoured. Tough. But any investigator that is blessed and has a cult membership, so long as they're blessed, at any time they can get rid of the cult membership. It's up to them how long they keep it. Apart from poor old Diana, she's forced to keep it. But it just brings in a bit of, you know, skill. You know, we'll be making the decision about, oh, we're going to keep it for this turn. So we'll make that decision in upkeep. The investigators that can get rid of their cult membership because they're blessed, after they've rolled for their blessing, they will also have to make the decision for this turn, do I keep the cult membership or do I discard the cult membership? If they keep it, then they're stuck with it for the rest of that turn, and they may well get devoured. It depends. So I think that's a really good idea of Wolfpack 48, and that's how we're going to play it. And it also gets all the other investigators in as well, and gives them, you know, just a little chance, especially at the beginning of the game, you know, before too many cultists actually come out and go on the sheet. Gives them a little idea to say, shall I risk keeping my membership or shall I get rid of it? So I think that's a very, very good idea. So that's what we're going to implement. Now, having gone through that, Wolfpack 48 also had another good point, which is you have Cult of the Thousand encounters at 3 specific locations. I didn't mention it in the introduction and setup, should I have. And those 3 locations are actually the Unvisited Isle, our favourite location, the Black Cave and the Woods. These are meant to be areas of Arkham that are, you know, they're not frequented that much. So that's just the sort of place where cultists would go to worship the Black Goat. And when you go to those areas, if you've got a cult membership, Cult of the Thousand membership, and I think we'll have it that Silver Twilight membership will count as well, you've got to have a Black Goat encounter, which is a special deck. And Wolfpack 48 was saying, normally it's pretty good to mark off those locations so you remember and don't forget. Now, I don't mark off the locations, but I do have a solution to that particular problem, remembering. And what I'll do is I've just put up another picture on screen now, and what you'll see is the location cards, and in front of the Uptown Streets locations, and in front of the Merchant District Streets locations, and in front of, what's the other one, Rivertown. In front of all those neighbourhood cards, you know, that we pick up when we have a location encounter, you will see that there are some cult encounters. With the cult encounters, if you add in the Miskatonic ones as well, because they did some extra ones for Miskatonic Horror, there is actually 48 cards. So what I do is I shuffle them all up, and then I split them into 3 equal piles of 16. Those 16 are then placed, 16 are placed in front of the Merchant District location cards, 16 are put in front of the Rivertown ones, and 16 are put in front of the Uptown ones. That way, when I'm actually going for the location card, I will see the cult encounter cards. And that generally, not all the time, but 99% of the time, reminds me to say, oh, has this person got a cult membership? Because I'm going to pull an Uptown location. And then I go, yes, they have. And instead of pulling the Uptown location, I will actually pull the cult membership location. So I just thought I'd show you that. And that's something that you might want to use in your games. So just thought I'd point that out. Okay, having done that, I think that's all I wanted to chat about, so we can actually get on with it. We can get on with it! My God, the sun's come out. That is very unusual at this time of year in the Republic of Mancunia. The sun's out. Hopefully it's not glaring too much off the board. We should be alright. It'll go down soon. It'll go down soon. And what we'll do next is we'll get on with the upkeep phase. Hank Sampson, you can just see him at the bottom here. he's going to be our first player, and what we're going to... Oh, I've left my notes out. He's going to be our first player, and what I'll do is we'll go through the upkeep phase, see what everyone's going to do, and then we'll crack on with the game. So I'll see you in a moment during the upkeep phase. And here we are at the upkeep phase with our lead investigator. It's going to be Hank Sampson, because Hank Sampson has a big job on. Certainly does. What we're going to do with Hank is, obviously, he's going to be our groin puncher. He's going to go around killing monsters. That will be his major function in this game of Arkham Horror 2nd Edition. So, where we set his sliders? We've set his speed to 3, that's all he needs to get to the Miskatonic University streets, because that's where we have 2 monsters, and that's where we have the colour out of space that we need to get rid of, PDQ. So we'll set that to 3, that means his sneak will be 3 as well. His fighting will, we've set his fight to 5. The reason for that is we can only use fight against the colour out of space. And fortunately, with Hank Sampson, he doesn't make a horror check unless he fails a combat or a fight check. So hopefully he'll pass. So we've set that to 5, and his will is at 0. Hopefully we won't get a will check or a horror check, but you know, risk and reward, we're going to have to go for it to get rid of that nasty monster. Law and luck, I've set those to 2 and 2. So that's how he's going to start the game. So he's going to move to the Miskatonic University streets. The Ancient Whispers isn't there, it's at the Merchant District, so he won't have to have a location encounter. It will just be a question of him trying to kill these monsters. The zombie should be pretty straightforward. He'll be able to use his shotgun, and he will also... he won't be able to use grapple when he's fighting the zombie, because this is just for fight checks only. Combat checks, which is when you start using a weapon, it doesn't apply. So we will be using the shotgun, but with +4 for the shotgun, 5 there, 9 dice, you know, he's pretty much 10 dice actually, because he's going to be exhausting Skullcrackers, which is here. So this is the relationship card he's got with Charlie Kane, and he's just going to exhaust this card before making a combat check. In fact, yeah, it's going to be 2. We're going to be doing 2 fights, aren't we? So I think he'll exhaust this one before the fight with the colour out of space. Yeah, he won't need it against the zombie. But bear in mind, he will use Skullcrackers, because after he kills the zombie, which he should kill, they're quite easy. Especially with the amount of dice he's going to have, he will take the colour out of space on. He won't be able to use the shotgun, he will just be using his flat fight. But because he's using his flat fight, grapple will come in. So on a 4, a 5 and a 6, it'll be a success. Hopefully that will be enough. Rolling 5 dice, 6 dice with Skullcrackers, then we only need to get 2 successes. Hopefully he'll get them. I hope he gets them. Otherwise we're in big trouble, because he'll automatically fail the horror check, he will fail his personal story, and then we're in all sorts of trouble. But and he'd probably go insane actually, thinking about, I think you lose 4 sanity if you fail a horror check against the colour out of space. So things will go completely pear-shaped for Hank, but he's got to do it now. We can't really hang around. This is the best shape that he's going to be in all game, probably. So he's just going to have to bite the bullet and go around there and try and kill it. So that is the plan for Hank. If he does manage to actually kill both those monsters, then he'll have a couple of monster trophies. What I'm hoping to do at some point is he'll get enough monster trophies that he'll be able to cash them in, get some clue tokens, and he'll be able to succeed at his personal story. He'll need an exhibit item as well, but as soon as we've got the clues for him to do his personal story, then we'll go and try and get an exhibit item. Then we'll try and get him to the train station in order to pass that personal story. So I think that's it for Hank. Next up will be Jenny Barnes. And here we are with Jenny. What are we going to do with Jenny? Well, let's set up her sliders first. We do have a plan for her, but we've got to set up her sliders. And first of all, we want to get her to the merchant district. That's where the Ancient Whispers marker is. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, we want to try and get an exhibit, because why not? We're playing with the Curse of the Dark Pharaoh. Let's go for it. And but there is another reason as well, as you will see. But get her to the merchant district. We only need to move 2. So we've got 2 speed. That'll give us 2 sneak. Excellent. Fight and will. Not planning on her doing any fighting. So what we'll do is we'll just keep it at 3 and 3 for the time being. So that should cover us off nicely. Law and luck. What we're going to do is really going to pump her law up. And so she's going to have 4 law and 2 luck. Why are we doing that? Well, we want to cast Bless. Remember, this is her spell. And we want to cast it. Went through it last episode. And casting modifier is -1. Sanity cost is going to be 2, which is a bit stiff. But, and it is a discard. So we want to pass that. So that'll be 3 dice if she's got 4 law, and we'll do that in a second. Just want to point out that we also have the lucky cigarette case. If we fail on our first roll, I will discard this so we get to roll again. It is vital that we get good old Diana blessed. So that's what we're going to try and do. So I'll pop that there as well. And it's going to be our first roll. For how many months? So there we go, pop that on there. We've got 3 dice. And we need a success, baby. Come on. 2 successes. We didn't even have to get rid of the lucky cigarette case. Brilliant. So that is just the job. Start, and we had a 6 in there as well. That's how we like to start rolling on this channel. Okay. So we didn't have to use the cigarette case, which is good. We do have to discard Bless now. So she's used it. We'll discard that over there. But it does mean that we get a blessing card. Here's the Bless card. I'm sure you've seen them before. Have a read if you wish by pausing the video. And I will now give this to Diana Stanley. So Diana Stanley is now blessed, which is great news. Although she can't use that blessing to get rid of her Silver Twilight membership, unfortunately. But she is blessed, and that's what we wanted. So Jenny Barnes kicked off this particular playthrough in the correct way by succeeding at a skill check. Brilliant. Okay, so she's passed that. It also means that cost her 2 sanity, which isn't so good. So we'll chuck this 3 in, give her 1 change, and she is down to 3 sanity already, which is a little bit grim. I forgot to check. Courageous Inspirations is horror check, and Best of Friends not in the same neighbourhood as her partner, so that's fine. Just in case those are giving us any benefits or whatever, but no matter. So we've managed to do that, and we've got a plan for her. She has blessed Diana Stanley, and she is hopefully during the movement phase going to get to the merchant district, so she can have during the Arkham encounter phase, she'll be able to encounter the exhibit. Dun, dun, dun. That'll be fun. Okay, so she's all set up to go. That's it for her. Next up is Diana Stanley. And here we are with Diana Stanley, the newly blessed Diana Stanley. Now, we don't have to roll for that blessing this turn, you always get a turn's grace after you get one. So you get at least one turn where you are blessed. So we don't have to roll for that, but put a die up there just to remind myself that next time she'll have to roll for it during the upkeep phase. As already discussed, she can't get rid of a Silver Twilight membership, even though she is blessed. So you're stuck with it, kid. Unlucky. Now, what are we going to do with her? What is the plan for Diana? What's the plan, Stanley? It's going to be, we've got 2 clues at the Silver Twilight Lodge. She's a Silver Twilight Lodge member. Where's she going to go? She's going to go to the Silver Twilight Lodge. Theme, 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 we love it. Plus the fact, personal story, she's got to get some evidence together, hasn't she, in order to go to the cop shop, confront Sheriff Engel and say, look, come on, get down to the Silver Twilight Lodge. Bring your bracelets with you. Let's get Carl Sanford, get him in jail. And the way to do that is to go to the Silver Twilight Lodge, get some evidence, and there's 2 clues there. So that's what we're going to do. It's just right in itself. This game, it's right in itself. So in order to get there, she needs 3 movement. So we've put her up to 3 because she's one of the slow coaches, but she can manage to get there. So we've put her movement up to 3. As far as fight and will goes, I've put them in the middle. She's got 2 fight and she's got 3 will. We hopefully won't have to do any fighting. She is a member of the Silver Twilight Lodge. When she does have an encounter there, it will be an Inner Sanctum encounter. Hopefully it won't be a fight. Yeah, so we shall see. But 2 and 3 is her fight and will. Law and luck. Now, I'd love to stick her law right up if I could. But she's only got 1 focus, and yeah, we're probably going to go between 4 and 5. So a luck will be between 3 and 2. The reason for that is obviously if we pull a cultist. If we pull a cultist, she's got to do that luck check. And as soon as we pull the first cultist, it's at -1, the luck check. So it'd be 2 dice, yeah. So she'd be rolling 2 blessed dice in order not to get devoured. This is what makes the scenario difficult, because ideally, you know, you'd have her up here and you'd pile a load of spells on her, and she'd be your wizard, your witch. She'd be going around like casting spells like Billy O. But unfortunately, because of the nature of the scenario, we're going to have to keep her luck up a bit, just in case, and try and stop her getting devoured. So it's one of those trade-offs that we're going to have to make. So we'll keep her law at 4 and her luck at 3. She does have the +1 law, so essentially she's at 5 anyway. So she's doing okay. She already has those 2 clues there, so getting another 2, that'll give her 4 clues. She's nearly there for her personal story. And you never know, if we do get to 5 clues, might not bother with the personal story. We might just go and try and shut a gate or 2. Yeah, we'll be getting closer to the Historical Society, and there's a gate there, and we'll probably get another gate at the end of this turn anyway. So we'll see where we're up to. We'll see where we're up to. Okay, so that is the plan for her. She's all set up and ready to go. I don't think there's anything else we need to go through. So it's time for our final investigator. And here we are with good old Charlie Kane, the politician. What are we going to be doing with Charlie? Well, he's currently stuck in the administration building. But if Hank does his stuff, then he should be able to get out of that building. And what we want him to do is we want him to go to the Merchant District streets, where he will do a bit of trading with Jenny Barnes. Remember, Jenny Barnes is going there. And he'll trade with her. He'll get the $8 he needs for his personal story right here, and he will pass that, and then that's out of the way. Once that's out of the way, what we're looking to do in future turns is we're going to, very similar to Hank, we're going to turn him into a monster killer. We'll tool him up, and then he can go around Arkham killing stuff. So good old Charlie Kane, what a star he's going to be, hopefully. So that's the plan for him. In order to get to the Merchant District, and we're just going to assume that Hank's done the business and he can get there. It's he'll need a speed of 2. So we've set his speed to 2, sneaks at 2, but remember he gets +1 sneak from Ryan Dean, so he'll actually be at 2 speed and 3 sneak. His fight and his will. Now I've set his fight to 4 and his will to 2. The reason for that is he gets +1 will up here, so that bumps it up to 3, and he gets another +1 will from Ryan Dean, so it's essentially 4 and 4 to all intents and purposes for fight and will. And his law and his luck, I've put him at 3 law and 2 luck. And yeah, so he goes to the merchant district. He'll get there, he'll trade. Yeah. And then hopefully next turn he will move on to the newspaper and finish his personal story. So that's the plan for him. One quick thing to mention. When we come to the Arkham encounter phase, only one of Charlie or Jenny can actually do the Ancient Whispers encounter. It's only one that's allowed per turn. I've just got the rules here. Here are the rules, and if you just have a look here, just see it there, it's all bolded up there. No more than one investigator can have an exhibit encounter in a single turn. So Jenny will have the encounter, I think, and Charlie will just have no encounter. So good job I spotted that, otherwise I'd have given them both an encounter, because it's a chance for both of them to get an exhibit. The other thing with exhibits is if we manage to get an exhibit, they're very powerful, but I don't think they're like unique items, but they're not unique items. So as I'm reading it, I think that means if we get an exhibit item, then we don't lose a sanity. I don't think we lose a sanity. With the Dark Pharaoh as a herald, if you get a unique item, you lose a sanity, but I don't think an exhibit counts. So I think we get away with that. You do have to roll to find out if you're cursed or not. So we'll have to do that, but at least we won't lose the sanity for a unique item, because an exhibit item is not a unique item, even though they're about just as powerful. Alright, anyway, that's it for the upkeep phase. Next up, oh, it's Hank. It's Hank and the movement phase, and some fighting! And here we are in the movement phase with Hank. There he is, just behind the Darkness Tower. We're not going to trade with Diana. They haven't got much stuff, and I don't think they've got all that much that's worth trading, to be honest. So they're not going to do any of that. And good old Hank, he's going to set off. He's heard there's some monsters in the Miskatonic University streets, and he's wondering if that's got anything to do with its pa. So he's going to go and investigate. So he's got 3 movement, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to find a zombie and the colour out of space. The first one that he's going to deal with is the zombie. We're not going to evade, so set that off. What we're going to do is going to fight it. Doesn't do the horror check, so we can skip that. And we're just going to do a combat check. He's going to use his shotgun, and that's going to be 4 dice. He's got a fight of 5, so that's going to make 9 minus 1. So he's going to roll 8 dice. So here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we need a single success. Boom! 3 successes there for the Hankster. So he has killed the zombie. He takes that as a trophy. Awesome. And now we move on to the colour out of space. He's no longer going to be using his shotgun. He's just going to be using his fight. Let's just have a look at the back here. So, because it's physically immune and magically immune, he's just got to use his fight skill. And He's not doing a horror check, thank God, so he can skip that. So he's got +0 to his fight check. He's got 5 fight, but he's also going to use skull crackers. That's going to give him 6 dice, and we need to get 2 successes. And because we're using grapple, any 4s count as a 5, for example. So we should be able to do it. Let's pick out 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 2 successes. Otherwise, big trouble. Big trouble. So come on, Hank. You can do it, mate. 2 successes. Oh, he got 2 successes anyway. But he ended up with 3, because that 4 goes to a 5. So he managed to do it. You do not mess with the Hank. Yay! So more toughness. He's got 3 toughness worth of monsters. Whew. We needed that. That has saved us a lot of hassle. So Hank is a force of nature. An absolute force of nature. He's got rid of those, and we get 2 stands back, which is going to help. Remember, we do not want the terror track going up at all. It just interferes with everybody's personal stories. So well done, Hank. That's it for him. Next up is Jenny Barnes. And here's Jenny. She's up at the train station. She's just going to move 2. So she's going to go 1, 2, and she's going to end up with the Ancient Whispers marker just here in the Merchant District. We'll see what she does with that during the Arkham encounter phase. Next up, it is Diana Stanley. And here's Diana back in the general store where Hank left her. So she's got 3 movement. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3. And she's going to end up in the Silver Twilight Lodge, where she's going to pick up 2 clues. She now has 4 clues. Excellent. Just the job. Right, that's it for Diana. Next up is Charlie Kane. Here's Charlie Kane in the administration building, where he's been looking out the windows at this force of nature that is Hank Sampson. So steps out, says hello, no trading, and he's just going to go up to the Merchant District. He had 2 movement. So he is going to trade, however, with Jenny Barnes, and he's going to grift her for $8. Jenny has $11. I noticed during editing the upkeep phase that I hadn't given her the dollar for her upkeep, so I'll do that now. So there's the dollar. So she's got $11. She's going to give 10 of these to Charlie. Charlie's going to give her $2 change. So there we are. So she's got $3 at the moment, but she has contributed to Charlie's re-election funds. So with any luck, next turn he can just pop to the newspaper, which is just up there. That's another 1, 2. Do his personal story, that's out of the way, and then he can concentrate on becoming a bit of a monster killer. Alright, so that's it for Charlie, that's it for the movement phase. Next up is the Arkham encounter phase. And here we are at the Arkham encounter phase. And it's going to be one of those few times when I am filming where I won't have to move the camera about for the entire phase, because we've got everybody in shot, and it's going to be quite quick for most of them anyway. So first up would be Hank, but he's here, he is in a street location, and he hasn't got the Ancient Whispers marker with him, so he does not have an encounter. So it's very quick for good old Hank. He's done his bit in the movement phase, killing those monsters. So then we will move on to Jenny Barnes. So there's Jenny. Now she is there with the Ancient Whispers marker, and she has to have an encounter with it. But only one investigator can have an encounter with the Ancient Whispers marker per turn. So she'll have the encounter because she's before Charlie, but when it comes to be Charlie's go, he can't. Yeah. So Jenny, let's get the encounter deck for the exhibits. There it is. It's been shuffled, so we'll just do a cut. And let's see what we get. I'll read it out first and then I'll show it you. Hidden in plain sight. A street vendor is selling cheap copies of items on display at the museum. But one of the objects he has for sale seems to be the genuine article. You may spend $3 to make a luck check at -2. If you pass, you will gain an exhibit item. There you go, just pause the video if you wish. So, actually, $3 is exactly what we got. So, it's a good job I remembered her upkeep money, otherwise she'd have only had $2. So she is going to spend that $3. And that goes into the supply over here. So she's now skinned, but she will get another $1 next upkeep phase, if I remember. Now, she's got +1 luck, and she's got a lucky cigarette case for a re-roll. Her current luck is 2, +1 luck is 3, and it was a -2, wasn't it? Well, she'd only be rolling 1 dice. But you know what, I think we've got to go for it. Because getting an exhibit, it's got to be worth it. We might do the old re-roll with the lucky cigarette case, we'll see. Go on, success needed. A 6. I'm rolling a single dice, it's bound to be a 6. Awesome. So didn't need to use the lucky cigarette case at all. So we do gain an exhibit item. Awesome sauce. We'll shuffle the deck again. I do believe it goes back in the deck, but if we get it again, I'll draw again. We want different cards. So there we go. That goes back, and I will get the exhibit items. Here they are. They've been shuffled, so I'll just do a cut. And let's see what we get. A Chime of Ra. I'll just read it and then I will show it you. Chime of Ra. When you lose sanity due to a horror check, you may exhaust this card to reduce the sanity loss by 1 to a minimum of 0, even if the monster has the nightmarish ability. So that's quite good. That's quite good. There you go. If you want to read, pause the video. So that's an excellent card. I'd have preferred something that helped us seal gates, but Chime of Ra will do. Brilliant. Now, on the bottom of that card, I think it said Rivertown Streets, didn't it? Bloody hell. I've shuffled it back in now. Bear with me while I find it. I remember what it's called. Talk amongst yourselves. Hello, it's me, CatWeazle, from the future. Yay! Jenny. Going to interrupt this programme slightly, just because Jenny, she gained an exhibit item, and according to the Herald, the Dark Pharaoh, that means she's got to roll a die. So she's got to roll another die, and she's got to get a success, otherwise she's cursed. Come on. A 1, she's cursed. Damn it! If I'd done it at the time, I might have succeeded. I was on a roll then. Yeah, so unfortunately, she's become cursed because she's ended up with one of the Dark Pharaoh's, you know, trinkets or whatever. So she's cursed. Oh, she didn't roll anything after that, I don't think. I think she rolled to gain the exhibit. After she gained the exhibit, she didn't roll anything. So I don't think it affects anything for the rest of the turn. But yes, we're going to have to try and get rid of that curse if we can. I think she's stuck with it next turn. I think it's like a blessing. You've got to have it for a turn before you start rolling to get rid of it. So she needs to roll 6s next turn. I think what we'll do is we'll just get her to Arkham Asylum, you know, for some psychiatric care. I think we'll send her up there, and because she's lost a few sanity, and yeah, and then we'll start trying to get rid of this bloody curse. Damn it! Okay, right, back to your scheduled programming. It's actually the French Hill Streets. So this will move over to there. Now, because that has moved this turn, even if we get Crescent Moon monster movement at the end of the turn, it won't move again. It only moves once per turn. That's all it moves. So it's not going to be moving again. It's going to stay in the French Hill Streets. Cool. That is it for Jenny and her Arkham encounter phase. Next up, it is Diana Stanley. She's at the Silver Twilight Lodge, so she is going to have an encounter. So that's the French Hill deck, which is here. Again, it's been shuffled, so we'll just do a cut. And because she's a member of the Silver Twilight Lodge, she's got to have an Inner Sanctum encounter. So here we are, and I'll read it and then you can pause the video and have a look at it. Inner Sanctum. Only the strongest of will may enter the Lodge's prized library. Make a will -1 check. So she's got to make a will -1 check. And what's a will? Let me check. The will is 3. So she'll be rolling 2 dice. Just checking if she's got any bonuses with that. No. No, just will. And she's blessed though. She is blessed. So she's going to roll 2 blessed dice. And we need a success. Come on. We get a success. There's a 5. Awesome. Woo! Let's carry on reading. If you pass, you gain 3 clue tokens and may search the spell deck for any one spell and take it. If you fail, we didn't fail, so brilliant. So there's Inner Sanctum. Pause and have a look if you wish. And we have passed. So we want 3 clue tokens. Let's grab those. 1, 2, 3. That is absolutely fantastic. She could do her personal story now. And she's got 2 clues left over to put towards sealing a gate. Ooh, I'll have a decision next turn. I'll have a decision next turn. Now, we've got to find a spell. And we can basically search through that for any spell that we want. I think that's what it said. Yes. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look through. Maybe a slight delay, because obviously there's a few to go through. I'll be back shortly. Okay, I've chosen one. That was really difficult. There's loads of brilliant spells. You know, Dread Curse of Azathoth, Fist of Yog-Sothoth, Shriveling, all sorts. But what I've gone for is a clue gathering one, which is Vision Quest. So if you want to read that, just pause it. And you can have a read. I'll just go through it now. Vision Quest. Casting modifier +0, sanity cost 1, magical spell. In the movement phase, cast an exhaust after ending your movement to take all the clue tokens that are on the board in your current neighbourhood. So that should be good for collecting a lot of clues all at once. And we're going to need a lot of clues in this game. So I've gone for that. Tough choice. It was a tough choice. I'd rather have just, you know, picked it. You know, done a random. But Vision Quest is what she's ended up with. So that will go on her character sheet. Good stuff, good stuff. So that is it for her. And finally, we have Charlie Kane. As mentioned, he wasn't able to do the Ancient Whispers encounter. So similar to Hank, he's just in a street location. He will not have any encounter. Alright, super duper, smashing lovely, great. That is it for the Arkham encounter phase. Nobody is in another world, so we won't be doing another world encounter phase. We go straight to the laugh and the chuckle phase. And here we are at the laugh and chuckle phase. Always a delight. So we'll get on with it. One quick thing is, just before I started this, I was doing the editing for the Arkham encounter phase. And Jenny Barnes is now cursed. One quick thing to mention, that I should have mentioned, was she couldn't use her lucky cigarette case when she failed that roll, because it's not a skill check. Yeah, you can only discard the lucky cigarette case to re-roll if it's a skill check, and that doesn't count as a skill check, so she couldn't do that. So just in case anybody was wondering about that. So she's stuck with it, bit of a bummer. Also, because of the Herald, I think it's got the "Your blood will boil" is is one of the curses in effect. So she will also lose a stamina in the upkeep phase, unfortunately, because her blood will be boiling. But we'll do that next turn. Okay. Right, anyway, this turn, laugh and chuckle phase, Mythos card. Let's get to it. Here's the Mythos deck. We've got a little Doom token there, if required. I'll just put it on there. So here is what we've got. And what I will do is I will take pictures of these, so it should come up on your screen now. Strange Power Flux, Plague City, another headline, so that's okay. And we do get a gate. It's Independence Square. So take one of these babies, and we will need a gate. So let's get in here. What type of gate? A core? Or a lurker at the threshold gate? What's it going to be? It's a lurker at the threshold gate. Could have done without that. It looks like a split gate. And it is. Let's see if this will focus for you. So Yuggoth or another dimension, and it's a -3 gate. That's nasty. But it could be worse. They're a lot worse than this in the lurker in the threshold gates. So we'll pop that in there. That will go up to Independence Square. So we will take that clue. Where does that clue get rerouted to? It goes to the Unnameable. So there are now 2 clues at the Unnameable. So that can be a target for Diana Stanley. And her new spell. Because there are now 3 clues in the Merchant District. So be good to remember that. Now we need a monster. So get the monster bag. And hopefully it won't be a bad one. Oh, I think it's another zombie. Phew, got away with that one. Yeah, we've got another zombie. Exactly the same as the last one. So that's lucky. That is lucky. About time. Mind you, it was supposed to be lucky, wasn't she, Jenny Barnes? With a lucky cigarette case and a +1 luck. and she's cursed. So the zombie goes up to Independence Square, where it is guarding that gate. Good stuff. Right, having done that, monster movement. So on white, slashes, triangles and stars move. I don't think we've got any of them. The crawling one's a circle. So nothing is moving on white, and it's hexagons on black, and we don't have a hexagon monster either, so there is no monster movement. So we can move to the actual headline itself. All investigators in otherworld areas may immediately return to Arkham. That'd have been really good if we'd had somebody in another world, but we don't, so we're going to miss out on that one. And yeah, not bad. Okay, we'll take that. That was okay. And I'll put that there for next time. When we draw next time. Oh, we did get a gate open. So the one I put to one side goes on there. We're on 2 doom. 2 out of 11. We're going to have to get our skates on already. That's what I like about this game. What is it? I've done one turn and I'm already thinking, God, we've got to rush. We've got to... First, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We've got to be quicker. We've got to be quicker. And that's what's great about this game. Already, all we've done is done 1 turn. And it was actually, apart from the curse for Jenny Barnes, we had an excellent turn. We killed 2 monsters. Hank was just on fire. He was brilliant. We got Diana Stanley blessed. She picked up 3 clues. She was able to take her pick of all the spells. And she's got a bit of a clue gathering spell. Charlie's got the money for him to do his personal story, because he's shut down Jenny Barnes. That's when it all started going wrong, didn't it? After Charlie shook her down for some money, then it went grim. But, I mean, even Jenny, she got that exhibit, you know, rolled a 6, fantastic, gets the exhibit. We're laughing until I remembered that the Herald, every time you get an exhibit, you've got to roll for a curse, and she got a curse. So we're going to have to get rid of that. Her upkeep phase, she's going to get $1, but then her blood's going to boil and she's going to lose her stamina, and she's going to have to put up with a full turn with that curse before she can roll to get rid of it next upkeep phase. Really hope we can get rid of it. Cursed investigators in any Arkham Files game are just no joke. It's just horrible. But anyway, that's the way it is. Pretty good first turn. Hopefully things will turn around for Jenny. She normally, I've got to admit, she's pretty unlucky in my games. She normally ends up dying. So I hope that she stays alive. And as somebody else pointed out in the comments for the introduction and setup video, I don't think I've ever managed to complete a personal story. I think Isabelle dies every time as well. So hopefully we'll be able to put that one to rest as well and actually rescue Isabelle for a change. We'll see. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you've seen any errors, I've caught a few myself. I'm actually uploading after each phase in order to catch the errors. It takes me a bit longer, but I may as well make the effort to try and cut down on mistakes. I've caught a few myself, but I may have missed some. If I've missed some, give me a shout and I will try and fix them before next turn. So thank you so much for watching. If you can, please subscribe or like or dislike, as I say. Thumbs up, thumbs down, it all goes to the algorithm. And, if you like the, yeah, make a comment, whatever. It's all well and good and much appreciated. Thank you. Had a couple of people who have already bought me a brew on my KoFi page, so thank you very much to you guys. It's much appreciated. Thank you very much. And yes, so that's it for turn 1 of the horror at the museum. I hope to see you next time for turn 2. Until then, this is me, CatWeazle, saying toodaloo.